Liv got everybody talking last night on social media. Tempting, very tempting. I think Dom is getting reeled in.
How could you not? That was a heavy segment. And by heavy segment, I would say
Fat, heavy.
show flow. If I could, when we talk about great show flow, constant threads throughout, and then a conclusion, a payoff, or another cliffhanger. You saw that with the Judgment Day. You saw that with Rhea and Dum Dum. And, basically, this is it. Confronted you right there, but I'm going to do it in the ring. There's all this heat. Come out. You want him. You can have him. And then it gets interrupted. Love the visuals. Love the... She's on top in the rafters, they're in the ring, so there's space in between them. Any man who's ever been in this type of situation, you know what I'm talking about. They're volatile situations that you're like, hey, just let me get out of here.
The female of the species can be quite aggressive when she's put in a certain situation. And I thought Rhea Ripley was going to take Dom's head off last night if he said the wrong thing.
It's one of those, what do you have to say for yourself? Well, shut up, don't talk. Okay, I don't know what to do.
You just told me to talk, now you're telling me to shut up. What do I do?
So we got the result, and listen, man, I would like to say for, 2024 and how this is being portrayed, right? You have to thread the line, but Liv didn't thread the line. And there was some specific lines.
You mean toe the line?
Yeah, I guess that would be better statement.
Towing the line means being careful. Is that what you were alluding to? You have to be careful in some of the things you say and do?
Correct.
Okay.
Because obviously they're not going more towards kids anymore. But, it's, hey, I'm the pretty girl, you're the ugly girl. Hey, I'm using my sexuality to get what I want, and it's working for her. And I'm also going to use and spit out everybody in my wake to get me what I want, and that's the women's title. She's played this role phenomenal. I remember when we interviewed her at WrestleMania, I believe it was you that specifically asked her, and she was like, there's going to be a lot more to come for me. And she has knocked it out of the park. We got the answer. She basically, and I love the split screen, and I'm not a big fan of the split screen. I also don't know why at one point they didn't just go hard camera to show the distance with this answer, but I enjoyed the split screen. She was like, just tell me in front of everybody that you love me. And then we finally got our answer, and it was, I hate you. And then, here comes the crying, all that stuff. I don't know if anyone felt bad for her. I think it was one of those, well, you got what you deserve. And then, we have a weird lick of the cheek from Rhea and Dom. And I don't know if they're going to go off and have happiness because SummerSlam is right around the corner.
Tommy, you've been in the ring with Beulah McGillicuddy. You've been in the ring with Francine. You've been in the ring with Kimona Wanalea. You've been in the ring with many women in this business. Has a woman ever licked your cheek?
Yeah, many times.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
What
does Tommy Dreamer's cheek taste like?
Chicken fat.
Chicken fat. I agree with you on the split screen. When I saw them do it, I popped. I was like, oh, this is awesome. I get to see both reactions here. What blew me away was the reaction of the Green Bay crowd. When Liv said to Dom, I just want to hear those 3 words, and the 3 words that she was insinuating was, I love you. And then Dom said, I hate you. There were groans in the crowd. There were no cheers, but there were definitive groans. And I picked up my Twitter machine real quick, and I was like, wow, Green Bay did not want to hear that. They wanted to hear the I love you. I think the WWE Universe wants Dom and Liv together. What do you think?
I think here's like when I said it's a definitive turn, but not really. It's he's saying what he wants publicly, which may or may not what the fans want, and then you have the girl heartbroken. But in my opinion, I think this is going to play out further at SummerSlam, and I think this is going to be a major catalyst. I personally feel he's lying, and he's going to stay with Liv. Here's the main thing. All of this has been circumstance and innuendo. Have they really ever kissed on television? They came close, but they never locked lips. She's saying, did you get... Dom has plausible deniability, which, if you've ever been in this case...
I'm a big fan of plausible deniability.
I don't know why she's texting me. I can't help with these things. But at the end of the day, I think we're going to have a massive payoff. And this is what you want to do. This is what you want to do when you're involved in a storyline like this. There was a great continuation, because now what's going to happen? These two women, a woman scorned, who at first was Rhea, now it's, in her head, it's Liv. She's emotionally invested into this. She was emotionally invested into Dom. She's playing her role great, and now these two women have a match for, SummerSlam. There's gonna be a bigger payoff, and it's take my money. This has been a great soap opera being played off.
I believe that if Dom and Liv were to get together, they're gonna have that, and this might be a little bit of a stretch. They're gonna have that Mickey and Mallory heat. Natural born killers. I mean, if Dom couldn't even raise the microphone to speak in the past few months, imagine if he screws over Rhea and sides with Liv. These two are going to need security. They're gonna need protection. They're gonna need people watching over them, because I think it's going to be massive heat, and I'm looking forward to it.
If you look at this whole Dominik Rhea love story that's been going on for so long, it's been a lot of remnants of China and Eddie Guerrero with Latino heat. Now I think you can switch it, and if you remember when Randy Savage and Sherry were together. Even though they were the Macho King and the Queen, but Macho Man always had a little bit of edge, a little bit of craziness into him. So did Sherry, even though they were playing royalty. I think you have a lot of character arc and depth with both Liv and Dom, and yes, they are going to get heat. If you think about Rhea, I mean, the Judgment Day, they're being portrayed as heels, but it's a fragmented faction in the sense of Damian Priest. They're now cheering for Damian Priest. They're booing J.D. McDonough and Finn Balor. Carlito's a glorified manager, and Rhea is an ultimate babyface.
Can we put Carlito over for just 1 second?
How
freaking entertaining has Carly been just in the background? Like last night when Rhea said something, Carly would just agree with whatever Rhea said. And the whole, well, that's cool or that's not cool, just having the apple. I want to compare him to Chelsea Green, meaning he's not getting a lot of stuff to do, but the stuff that Carlito is getting, he's knocking it out of the park.
Me being really good friends with Carlito, you don't realize what a great personality he has, and also how funny he is.
Funny as balls, yep.
He's laid back and letting all that stuff go, just like you said, with the agreements of everybody. He plays his roles great. R-Truth has always played his roles great. Carlito is in that same vein. And then when you ask him to go in the ring, he'll go in the ring. But his role has been utilized very, very well. I didn't understand the jump from the LWO to the Judgment Day, but, for whatever placements and reasons, it kind of happened, probably because the LWO is not a full faction due to injuries and all that stuff. But enjoyed it, see where it all played out. And yes, he's almost like Judgment Day in training. But the Judgment Day isn't the heel faction that they once were. Great main event, and also great, like I said, show flow using this group. Not all groups, I don't even want to say have to get along, but have to be on the same page. I like when they're all together. I like when they're fractioned off. I have no issues. Anything that was going on, the main thing or topic we're talking about was the Liv, Dom, Rhea. If you wanted to be cool, you could say, I'm hardcore, I'll take them both. That would be a complete older spin of things, but I don't think that would happen because that would make Dom the cool person, and Liv is very, very much better at being the heel. Even when she was the babyface, people were doubting her and all that stuff. And Rhea will just be next level.
I mean, if Dom, Rhea, and Liv end up in a throuple, Dom becomes my new hero.
Mm-hmm.
Profound, Tommy. So profound. Mm-hmm. Tommy, big announcement for SummerSlam. SummerSlam right around the corner, about a week and a half away. The beginning of August, I think August 1 and 2 or 2 and 3. We saw CM Punk cut a promo. We saw Drew McIntyre show up. And then we saw Seth Rollins wearing something very interesting. And I put on social media that I think that Seth broke into my Aunt Marie's house and stole her drapes and decided to use it as some kind of clothing last night. A jacket, a shirt, jacket, whatever it was. Imagine me or you trying to wear what Seth wore last night. That would be entertaining.
Not everyone could wear a puffy shirt, but he pulled it off.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so Punk and Drew at SummerSlam, as big of a match as Cody and Solo.
Here's what I loved about it. Here comes CM Punk with the happy news. He looks great. He looks in shape. He looks like he's ready to go. And then, yes, finally, he's medically cleared. This angle has taken a long time of two men messing with each other, with one being on the shelf. And then finally, this giant of a man, this guy who's held an audience, whose entire career has been pretty much based upon one thing, the championship, his focus, why he's here. And I'm ready for a fight, but no, not now. And when he said Green Bay's not big enough for a fight like this, I was like, yes, Drew, yes, this is everything that pro wrestling's supposed to be about. Punk wanting to fight now. Finally, it gets interrupted by Adam Pearce, another person, big Green Bay fan, Packer fan, lifelong fan. So we have all these interesting things that are going on in this universe, right? Again, show flow. Adam Pearce literally says, first I have it with the Damian Priest and Gunther. This show is chaotic. No, this is not happening. This match is officially signed for SummerSlam. And then what did CM Punk do? No, let's do it now. He wants to fight for the people. I love it. I loved everything about that segment, and I love that we're finally going to get this payoff between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. Then here comes the caveat of special referee Seth Rollins. Seth has been weaved into this thread since WrestleMania. I mean, he was the guy, right, that has, before even CM Punk came there, they've had altercations, they've had all these different things. And you know what? Seth Rollins was also banged up. He had to get his knee scoped or something during all this. Guy comes back, looks great. He does not like either man, has a personal and a professional issue with both of those guys, and this guy's going to be your special referee. It's easily factored in, and it checks so many boxes. What are we going to do with Punk? What are we going to do with Drew? What are we going to do with Seth? If I roll after this, I have more feuds coming out of it. I also have an immediate 3-way. That would be really, really good. You just want to,
Are you concerned at all with Seth being as big of a star as Punk, as big of a star as Drew? Are you concerned with Seth taking attention off the match? Meaning, are people going to be waiting to see if Seth turns, or do you think that adds to the intrigue?
I think Seth will have the people in Cleveland doing his singing, his entrance. I also believe in Seth knowing his role, laying out when it's time to lay out. There's also which one of these guys is going to punch the ref. There's going to be definitive moments where, hey, ref, I just had him. Drew firing up at Seth. Punk firing up at Seth. Will also, hey, does he want to feel the wrath of the bully referee police come Monday? Will he do the right thing? There's all these different factors that play into Seth's character of where do you want to go with Seth? Really and truly, it's a big thing. I mean, to me, Seth is an amazing heel. He's an amazing babyface. Seth has been money ever since he got called up. And then even bigger money once he went solo. The guy, a tremendous WrestleMania appearance with a bad knee. He doesn't get enough credit and love for that WrestleMania main event. And he was, like I said, he'll know his role. He was part of the back burner, but a bigger story ensued for him. My money is a Punk and Seth Rollins match. And I don't think I need to turn either guy. I think Punk is that good on the microphone. Here's people. I either love Punk or I hate Punk. Lately, everybody loves Punk. With Drew McIntyre, we have the definitive heel. You could also go the route of CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Something happens. Here comes Drew McIntyre. You could also have Drew shove it up Adam Pearce's ass. I just went and got a referee's license. That's more of a Monday Night Raw main event if you want to do CM Punk versus Seth Rollins on television. Here comes super jacked ref Drew McIntyre. There's so many different places you can go. And I look forward to it just because these men, they do an amazing job of keeping me interested in their feuds without doing anything. Hand them a mic, and I'm like, okay, what are they going to say about each other next week?
Walk it and talk it. Old school. I think the most intriguing question, the most pertinent question, the question that I believe is on everybody's minds this morning since Seth announced he's going to be the special guest referee for this match at SummerSlam. Do you think Seth Rollins will look better in a referee shirt than I did?
Oh, my God. Why would you even give me that layup?
You're not allowed to lay it up because I gave it to you so easily.
Yeah, I think you should retire your refereeing skills.
Yes, no more stretch.
You were good, and you were also good at, hey, the table just broke. Let's fix it, guys. But, yeah.
Seth, back to Seth refereeing. Oh, no, not back to Seth refereeing. I agree with you with Seth and Punk. I think that is going to be where the real rivalry, the real money is going to be. Because if you remember back to when Punk came back in Chicago at Survivor Series, Seth was pissed. I don't know the exact timeline of when Seth found out about Punk, but Seth was visibly irate that CM Punk was back, and I think they need to find a way to bottle that. Or is that too far gone, Tommy? Do you think that real animosity, because Seth and Punk have now been in the same place at the same time. Punk has done a very good job since he's come back to the WWE. I've witnessed him with my own eyes in the back. Everybody seems to be getting along. Is it one of those things in wrestling where it's water under the bridge, it's all over with? Have they missed the real animosity, lightning in the bottle of Punk and Seth?
You can go. Did they miss it? Well, because Punk got hurt. Could they go back to it? Absolutely. You could organically make it happen, or you can, people don't give CM Punk enough credit for his ability to be smart on social media. He can make people talk about him when he just doesn't even not even in the mix. Another great part of long-term storytelling in this big fight and fracas and everyone's holding back security. What does Drew McIntyre do? Pulls out the bracelet. This cheap little item that means something to CM Punk, who even in his promo, which was great a couple of weeks ago, it may have no value, monetary value, but it means the world to me. Also, I love the fact that his dog has a merch, and I would also sell those cheap bracelets as CM Punk bracelets.
Larry versus Pharaoh, book it.
Nice. We have a lot of greatness with this. You can come back to it on an interview, on a press conference. You can make things happen with somebody saying something, kind of reliving a toxic thing that you could turn into money somewhere else.
Come on, give me more specifics. Give me more specifics right there on that. I want to hear this.
CM Punk, when everything started to go down was what? During the AEW press scrum. You do press scrums in WWE. CM Punk could say something in the heat of battle, and then the world would ignite, and then we're off and running with, oh, you said this here?
So let me just understand what you're suggesting. You take the what happened in real life with the perception of CM Punk in a media scrum. You use that as your template for a worked scrum?
Correct. No, not a work scrum. Do it. Listen, CM Punk just
or just only the least amount of people who really need to know. No.
Correct. And if you say it publicly in 2024, it's out there in an instant. And then you're going to get your CM Punk haters to be like, this is the guy we've been waiting for. There's so many people waiting for CM Punk to implode, which is wrong. Then there's also a bunch of people that you said the biggest thing is people watching Seth Rollins, all that stuff. I feel the biggest thing is people saying, is CM Punk going to get hurt again? I think, and there's people that want that to happen.
That's not for nothing, and I'm not trying to
I see your body language, but yes, we don't want that to happen, but these are things that you have to worry about. And this isn't in pro wrestling. This is real things you have to worry about in real sports. Is he going to get hurt? I'm watching the Patriots Dynasty on Apple TV. I'm loving it. And then I totally forgot when Tom Brady got hurt, they brought back Drew Bledsoe. And I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot about this. And then it was, who are we going to go with at the Super Bowl? Can this kid who got us to that when Tom Brady was a rookie? Anyway, people are going to hang on to that. That's also, if I'm CM Punk, I use that. I have those moments where this is it. He just got hurt. This is it. I want the best for CM Punk. CM Punk is my friend. And like I said, he looks in the best shape. Mentally, he looks like he's in the greatest place. He looks happy. I want that to continue. You also answered your own question because I would throw it right back at you. You were in that locker room. You saw that. But then I'll just go back to you. Hey, there was people that didn't like you. And then you went back into those locker rooms and you had discussions. Or there was also, hey, man, that was a long time ago. Whatever. I apologize. We're different people. Let's go on. Let's do business. You had the same with Scott D'Amore. So, time heals.
I mean, I could tell you, I could break down my stories, but we're not here to talk about
Correct.
me. I am not a fan of people having a certain perception when it comes to doing business a certain way. I believe that business should be done a certain way. And in knowing Punk the way I do, and me and CM Punk are not best friends. We're acquaintances in the wrestling business. I know the type of intensity that he brings to the table. I know what he brings to the table mentally and his acumen, and I believe if you cannot match it, or if you're lazy, or if you don't take it as seriously as with him, he's going to put you in your place, which is what I would do at any given moment on any given day to any given talent. I will be the first person to go to the strip club with you, to go to the bar with you, to go to dinner with you and laugh and have the greatest time in the world. But I'll also be the first person to grab you by the throat and put you up against a fucking wall when you don't come to the table with good business in anything that I was involved in. And that's where perceptions come in. And as we know, perception trumps reality in this industry.
Listen, I'm all business as well. CM Punk is my friend. CM Punk is someone that I truly do care for, and I want the most success for. If I'm also CM Punk, I go, oh, wait, how many $1 Million gates did you do? How many? CM Punk also has the stats and numbers behind him where this is what I did when I was 100% healthy. Oh, yeah, by the way, this is what I did when I was hurt. You know, there's specific moments in wrestling history that are all because of CM Punk. And you have that, you know, listen, man, I will always give you your credit. You had a match that changed the wrestling business. CM Punk had moments that changed the wrestling business. There's not many times that happens in history of any sport or any entertainment.
Well, I'm just curious, what matches has CM Punk been in that has changed the wrestling business? I mean, maybe the pipe bomb promo.
Pipe bomb promo,
okay,
would be one. The John Cena match where he won the title and he doesn't work there anymore. The title in the fridge. There's so many different things of like where he did things that were so against the grain, you know, that change, like where people like, oh, this is real.
Whether you think Punk is a genuine problem or not is not the issue. It's the way CM Punk has gone about his career, the things that he's done, the things that he's said. He's shrouded in controversy, but as Eric Bischoff has taught us, controversy creates cash, and it seems like no matter where Punk has gone, the money has followed him. As you said, he has real numbers, whether that's the $1 Million gates for AEW or it's merchandise, whatever. How come the business hasn't followed the rebellious tone that CM Punk has set forth? Or is the business listen, I kind of know the answers, but I'd like to hear you, and I think our fans would like to know. Or is the business entirely too controlling? And you're shaking you're already nodding your head. Yes, is the business entirely too controlling to have more CM Punks around?
Yes. That's a great thing. Kind of like Steve Austin. Steve Austin was like, what? Hell, I'm just going to do it. Rock. Oh, I'm just going to go do it. When we say controlling, if you're not doing those numbers, if CM Punk wanted to be CM Punk and you don't do those numbers, he would be CM Punk on the indies.
Correct.
You have to have those numbers to back you up. You have to.
Would you compare? I'm sorry. I'm just thinking out loud. Now we're just bullshitting here. Is Punk kind of like a modern day Shawn? A bit of a headache that you put up with because he brings things to the table?
I don't ever feel CM. Listen, I didn't work there. I didn't have the relationship that some people did, but he was again in a much different place, and it was also a much different locker room. Shawn was so talented in ring. You dealt with all the stuff all that baggage. But what was Shawn's baggage? Shawn just wasn't in an emotionally good place, you know, and he has changed because then I got to see the amazing Shawn Michaels. He finds God, he cleans up his act, he finds his wife, all these great things. And then we still have that money maker Shawn in the ring. And then if you look at also why he is the true GOAT, the things he's doing in NXT, he's clear-headed. He has no distractions of this is what I get to do when you have one of the greatest talents, pure in ring, and guy who went through the territory system, a guy who went through the highs and the lows, a guy who, took his ball and went home. You do have that, and now he's in the developmental system, helping those next generation, and you see those talents already rising to the top. So, like I said this a long time ago. Everyone talks about Jake the Snake, right? Jake the Snake, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, greatest psychology. And I was like, we probably got only 60% of Jake's greatness. Why? Because he wasn't clean and sober. And all that stuff that we saw with Jake, that was about half of Jake. Could you imagine if we had Jake, what if Jake was on the right path of his life? But it takes you to that journey to get where you are.
Don't go on it. Don't go down.
I'm not going on a tangent,
but no. I got to ask you a question, legit. Don't go on a diatribe. Just give me a time frame here. When did we see the best of Jake Roberts?
I think his entire career he was not in the right place, and we saw
as great as Jake was in all the territories, as great as he was
Correct.
in the WWE. You don't think we ever saw the true greatness of Jake Roberts?
I'm talking about mentally.
Okay.
In the sense, and this is him. I think the best version of Jake is the version we're getting out of life today. What I'm saying is, could you imagine if Jake wasn't on drugs or alcohol when he was in the WWE? I think Jake being in the WWE was his greatest stuff. But like he says this, like I was this, I was that. When we're talking about Sean's greatest stuff, all that stuff, he wasn't in the right headspace. And they were still that great. This is what I'm talking about, their greatness.
When we talk about these very specific things, listen, with Sean, phenomenal performer, the biggest draw, drank and took too many pills. Yes?
Sure.
That was his thing. With Punk, it's great performer, great promo, straight edge, but what's Punk's pills and alcohol? Just his natural personality at times and his demeanor?
I would say management. Listen, I don't think one management got him. Paul Heyman got him from day one. Tommy Dreamer got him from day one. I don't think Vince McMahon looked at him and be like, this is the face of my company. Also, what was his biggest thing? I want to be in the main event of WrestleMania. If I'm the best, I'm pulling all these numbers. I wanted to be treated as such. But then you talked about it before, the controlling part of it. And if you are a rebel, there's going to be people that control the industry. Think of greatest rebels in the world, right? If the world of music, which is sex, drugs, and rock and roll, Elvis Presley, when he first came out, oh my God, he got arrested, what? For shaking his hips. How dare he? Jim Morrison, another guy, against the establishment when all these other bands are, doing great things. We have this other type of guy, cult favorite, all that stuff. He had his niche people, but hey, we couldn't control him. Kurt Cobain, another person, changes the industry. He's a different type of person. That's not what we're used to.
I think that goes back to my original question. Like, it's very
establishment.
It's very hard to tell the WWE that they've ever done anything wrong, because all the WWE has ever done was get bigger and bigger and bigger. So their way, no matter whether you agree with it or not, works. I'm just surprised other wrestling companies have not tapped into the rebellious nature, rebellious attitude, rebellious tone. And maybe Punk's problem, quote unquote problem, at the end of the day was that he was so true to himself and he tried to keep it so real for himself that he wasn't willing to play well with others.
Correct.
And it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that Triple H promo that Hunter cut him promo. The promo he cut him back in the day when he said, "You want things to be better for everybody, but what you really mean is you just want things to be better for you."
Right.
Which that kind of you're basically saying that you're selfish, but at the end of the day, most wrestlers are selfish to a degree. Every wrestler, everyone, you, me, Tom, Dick, Harry, Punk, Joe, everybody is selfish to an extent. And we were taught by Vince McMahon that if you want to get to the main event of WrestleMania, if you want to be the top dog around here, you have to be a little bit selfish at times. Have you, you're like I break your balls, you're the consummate babyface, yada, yada, Tommy, everybody loves Tommy. Have you ever been selfish?
A couple times.
Okay.
If I could just go back to my best version of yourself, Bret Hart. Bret Hart, we had the best version of yourself. And if I could compare Bret versus and CM Punk, two very, very good wrestlers, two guys great on the microphone, two guys that do business and have this business stuff. And then when you talk about having to compromise, well, why do I have to compromise if I'm the best? Why do I have to do this if I'm doing these? So these are all things that are, tangible, plausible. This is why I'm this great. And why aren't you behind it?